Taxiing to runway 6 center via November 1, Bravo 1, Oman Air 396 Heavy. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, American 989 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Foxtrot. American 989 Heavy, pushback approved. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Speedbird 761, ready to taxi with information Foxtrot. Speedbird 761, taxi to runway 6 center, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 6 center, Speedbird 761. Thank you, good day, Speedbird 761. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Iberia 148 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Foxtrot, requesting runway 6 center. Iberia 148 Heavy, pushback approved. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Aeroflo 1060, ready for pushback with information Foxtrot. Pushback approved, Iberia 148 Heavy. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Aeroflo 245 Heavy, request taxi to gate 142A at the Terminal C. Aeroflo 1060, pushback approved. Pushback approved, Aeroflo 1060. Aeroflo 245 Heavy, taxi to Terminal C gate 142A via Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Qatari 485 Charlie Romeo Super, ready to taxi with information Foxtrot. Taxiing to Terminal C gate 142A via Aeroflo 245 Heavy. Qatari 485 Charlie Romeo Super, taxi to runway 6 center, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 6 center, Qatari 485 Charlie Romeo Super. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Giant 156 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Foxtrot. Giant 156 Heavy, taxi to runway 6 center, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 6 center, Giant 156 Heavy. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Ethiopian 9 Quebec Heavy, request taxi to gate 136A at the Terminal C. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Aeroflo 1404, ready for pushback with information Foxtrot, requesting runway 6 right. Ethiopian 9 Quebec Heavy, taxi to Terminal C gate 136A via Bravo 4, Bravo, November 6. Taxiing to Terminal C gate 136A via Bravo 4, Bravo, November 6, Ethiopian 9 Quebec Heavy. Aeroflo 1404, pushback approved. Pushback approved, Aeroflo 1404. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Iberia 148 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 6 center with information Foxtrot. Give way to aircraft, Qatari 485 Charlie Romeo Super. Iberia 148 Heavy, taxi to runway 6 center, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 6 center, Iberia 148 Heavy. Pushback approved, American 989 Heavy. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, American 989 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Foxtrot. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Aeroflo 1406, ready for pushback. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Emirates 130 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Foxtrot. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Sadia 01, request taxi to gate 147A at the Terminal C. American 989 Heavy, taxi to runway 6 right. Aeroflo 1406, hold position. Taxiing to runway 6 right, American 989 Heavy. Holding position, Aeroflo 1406. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, UPS 8472 Super, ready to taxi with information Foxtrot. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Sadia 01, request taxi to gate 147A at the Terminal C. Sadia 01, taxi to Terminal C gate 147A via Bravo 4, November 5, Lima 4, Charlie 2. Qatari 485 Charlie Romeo Super, continue taxi. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Aeroflo 1060, ready to taxi with information Foxtrot. Continue taxi, Qatari 485 Charlie Romeo Super. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Aeroflo 1404, ready to taxi to runway 6 right with information Foxtrot. Taxiing to Terminal C gate 147A via Bravo 4, November 5, Lima 4, Charlie 2, Sadia 01. Thank you, Sadia 01. Emirates 130 Heavy, pushback approved. Taxiing to runway 6 center, Aeroflo 1404. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Victor Tango Juliet Romeo Bravo Super, ready to taxi to runway 6 right with information Foxtrot. Victor Tango Juliet Romeo Bravo Super, runway 6 right, taxi via Sierra 1, Alpha, Alpha 1, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 6 right via Sierra 1, Alpha, Alpha 1, Victor Tango Juliet Romeo Bravo Super. Moscow Sheremetyevo ground, Emirates 130 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Foxtrot. Emirates 130 Heavy, taxi to runway 6 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 6 right, Emirates 130 Heavy.